Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning in once again. You're listening to World Combat Sports. What's good? If I didn't tell you, it's 2021. You know, new year, and we hope new things popping. All right? It's going down once again. You know the thumbnail. For those of you that's in the live chat and support WCS, like, share, and subscribe, man. Like, share, and subscribe. If you want to donate to the channel, the Cash App is up there, man. You know, donate if you're on free will. You know, that's what it is. That's what it's about. If you support, do what you got to do. Whatever, you know. But check this out. My topic today is Holloway defeats Kattar. 700 plus strikes attempts. Ooh wee. Wilder versus Martin next? Question mark. UFC 257 on the horizon. But listen, I've been getting a lot of inbox, right? And I have to just reiterate some shit that goes down with media like myself. What's going on, Alexander? Happy Sunday to you, man. Hopefully everything is going great with you and the fam. So I have to just get some clarity out there, right? And this is no offense to nobody and nothing. I just have to explain some things because fighters will hit you up on IG and everything, but they really don't know everything that it takes. I just have to briefly go over this so y'all can understand, because I don't think you do. You know what I'm saying? So I gotta make it a point to just go from start to finish real quickly on how the process works with somebody like myself as independent media. Okay. So therefore, I returned from a WBC tournament yesterday, which I volunteered to shoot, right, in support of Team Punisher. No doubt, it's not my first amateur tournament. It's not. I've covered an amateur tournament over 20 plus fights before by my damn self. I decided to go out there. So my thing is, I never had a chance, being that the distance, it was 2 hours away from where I stay. I never had the opportunity to do a site survey of the venue. Site surveys of the venue is very, very crucial. It is. It's very crucial, especially if it's an amateur tournament, because those type of tournaments can be, basically in a venue, a gymnasium, or whatever, just like regional boxing tournaments. So when it comes to shooting is taking your camera and shooting the fight round for round for money shots for the fighters. All right. So this is the part that makes it a bit difficult, and I have to explain to the fighters and the coaches. Right. I shot an entire 21 fights, the bouts yesterday. So therefore, when I get into the venue, right, and it's no fault of anybody, it's just the venue set up. It had a single light bulb over the ring, a single 40 watt, probably 40 to 60 watt light bulb over the ring. So initially, I said to myself, "Damn, I'm just curious if initially, my natural reaction said, okay, are they gonna turn on any other lights over the ring?" But I noticed that was the only light source over the ring. So I knew it was going to be a problem, but, I was just going to maneuver my way around the ring for the best lighting. So I don't know why, but someone opened the side door that's directly beside the ring. What that does, and I'm not speaking, I'm just trying to educate some fighters, because out of the 21 fights that I did, I cannot put photos out there that's inefficient to what I'm trying to give you as amateur fighters or professional fighters. I'm not trying to give you no garbage and then you say, well, the pictures was garbage, even though they was free pictures. You know what I'm saying? I went out there and did that shit because, my passion for the sport and who I support or what have you. But this is the thing, though. Well, what you have to totally understand about shooting a fight, not a lot of people have ever shot a 21 bout card, period. Not even, let alone an 8 bout card. That shit ain't easy. You have to stay there for round and move around. And I have my way of doing it. But getting back to the picture, getting back to the topic at hand, There was a door off to the side of the ring, and it was a sunny day out. So what happens when you open the door and there's sun outside, and the light that's outside dominates the light inside? Not only that, it reflects off the steel door. So that reflection off the steel door resonates into the building as a glare. The magnification is absolutely incredible. When you take the ray or the power from the sunlight, magnify it and allow it to bounce off a steel door, and it shoots inside and dominates the internal light. The internal light is less. It's just room lighting. Of course, the room lighting is not as light and powerful as the sun. That was open the whole time. So what it does is, just say I'm on the other side of the ring and I'm shooting, and I have that particular glare that's coming on the inside, coming from the outside to the inside, that enormous, I'm talking about bright, lucid sunlight that's beaming off that steel door. What it's going to do to whatever settings I have in my camera? First of all, it's going to allow for disruption of the focus, because my ISO is set correctly. And plus, sometimes when you have light glare into your lens, all you have to do is close down the aperture of your lens to allow minimal light to come in while increasing the ISO, and potentially decreasing the shutter speed. But in this particular case, shutter speed while you're shooting a fight, in order for you to get that steel frame when the glove is touching the face, you need a 1.8 or 1,000. You need that shutter speed to be on point. It needs to be on point. You don't want any of the fighters throwing punches and it's a blur. Even with their gloves, boom, they throw that punch and you catch and you catch the moment. You want it where that glove is either contorting their face or touching their face initially. You want that shit all clear. You don't want any goddamn freaking you don't want it to be blurry. You don't want any of that shit. So what my camera was doing was struggling to focus. Now, you're probably saying, okay, how is that a problem? Let me explain to you how that's a problem. Because when you have dim lighting, the camera is focusing off the light and the object that you point to, right? So your camera is focusing. The professional photographers and those individuals who shoot, they don't have the shutter button focus for them. Our shutter button, and our focus is two different buttons. So therefore, we're operating off two different areas of the camera to focus in on the fighters. So if the fighters come closer to me, my camera isn't going to automatically focus on them because I'm not holding down the focus button. I have to hit the focus button every time they move to a different area if they're outside of the original area I just focused on. So if they come closer to me, I have to hit the button and wait for the beep for that frame to focus in to get the shot. And what happens when it's dark? When the fighters come closer to you and takes away the little light that you have, it becomes a shadow. So if I'm shooting a shadow, it's going to look like a freaking shadow. The black fighters are going to look blacker, and then the white fighters, Hispanic fighters, are going to look super dark too. You're not going to see the face. You're not going to see anything because of the glare and how it's dominating and bullying the shadow on the inside of the building. And also when the fighters come closer or move around the ring to different lights, you have to refocus your unit. So with the glare coming in and the low light settings in the building, the pictures, in my opinion, was just trash. And I'm going to leave it at that. I appreciate the ones who, came up to me, for pictures. You know what I'm saying? I had every intention. I had over 8,000 frames. All right. Over 8,000 frames to look through. That's easy. You talking about 3-round fights? You know how many frames you can get? A lot. So I'm just making that clear because some fighters, they didn't quite understand, what I meant or whatever about the photos absolutely being trash. It has nothing to do with them. It just has to do with the lack of lighting that I was able to gather for the aperture, for proper aperture, and to get these fighters where they needed to be. So it's nothing I gotta apologize about. It's unfortunate that they wasn't able, because to me, I look at it like this, especially on the amateur ranks, photos last a long time. Video do too. I wasn't there to really video. That takes a lot more effort, especially with one person to video the entire fight card. You have to make sure you have the memory for video, and you have to have, the component, and you have, once again, make sure you're able to catch every moment of the round without taking it home and editing the clips. But that's all I have to say about that, man. A salute to Paul Williams and everybody that was out there. Appreciate the invite and everything. No, I enjoyed all that. Real talk. But unfortunately, the side door and the single bulb over the ring, it just wasn't enough lighting to capture the fights accordingly. And what lights that you see with your eyes is not the light that I'm getting with my camera. And people have to understand that our eyesight and what I'm seeing with the camera, and therefore the internal to the ring, is different lighting sources that I have to pull in. But hey, let's get to Holloway defeating Kattar. All right. As a matter of fact, I want to start on Deontay Wilder next bout. I get to Holloway, the Kattar, and UFC 257 because I have it really split. So it's been a lot of talk about Deontay Wilder, who has a 42-1-1, record, and 41 defeats. He was on the top of the pinnacle of the championship, reigning as the WBC for quite some time, people. So the question is, right here in 21, when is the champ? When is the champ going to return to the ring? You know what I'm saying? A lot of people want to know who he's been working with. A lot of people just want to know, is he going to be facing Tyson Fury? Every other week, something different is coming out on who Deontay Wilder is going to be facing. Will Deontay Wilder come back in 21? Why wouldn't he? Why wouldn't he return back to the sport, y'all? I mean, come on now. That goes without saying, man. It's a trip. Deontay Wilder has returned back to the sport because he's not retired. He's not retired from boxing. So I'm pretty sure he's going to return back to the sport. Now, it's a lot of rumors out there that, I read plenty of them. I listen to video and all that. And I just don't jump on here and talk about everything I read or every rumor I hear. I just find it like, I'm not going to put clickbait out there just for people to tune in. Man, I just demand more of the audience. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just can't sit up here when I find out they say, oh, they're going to give Deontay Wilder $32 million. And I'm saying to myself, okay, if you're going to give him $32 million for step aside money so Fury can go face Joshua, that's a lot of money. But in order for me to go out here and report on it, I have to make sure it's a legitimate source, validated, confirmed, official. You know what I'm saying? 32 freaking million for step aside money. 32 million? That's a lot of motherfucking money. Just to step aside. 32 million? That's a lot. That's a talking point for people to sit up here and type in quick, hit enter, do a thumbnail up that motherfucker and hit a string. You know what I'm saying? That shit is crazy. So therefore, we go to step 2. They're still in court. They're still going through the arrangements. They're still deliberating. They're still in litigation. They're up here talking about it in conversation. And a lot of people, in my opinion, I'm just going to keep this shit the way it is. Y'all was so in a hurry for him to lose his title. He lost his title. And then now you're curious about his return. Not only that, y'all, I got to back up and do the Michael Jackson Thriller one more time. You remember when Deontay lost and he didn't come out for several months? He didn't say shit to the public. And I was saying all along, I say, don't say nothing to these people. Don't say nothing. Because time they hear it, a lot of them gonna run with it and say that you was complaining and making excuses. Because you have a lot of ignorant ass, stupid individuals that have two units, okay? Two pieces of cartilage. One on the left and one on the right side of their head. They do not listen to themselves talk this shit. They don't ever listen to themselves. And they was up there saying, oh, he's done. You had Pugmire come out talking about he's mentally broken. All of a sudden Deontay Wilder's depressed. So when he did come out, people ran with it. And some people took it for nutritional value, for what it's supposed to be, and others saying, oh, he's making excuses. But yeah, you didn't talk about him coming out with PBC and doing an interview. And he basically kept it straight to the point. But now people are curious to know who he's going to fight next. You know why? They want to know who he's going to fight next because they don't want him to fight Fury. And then, they want an all UK. They want something different. They want an all UK undisputed heavyweight championship. They want the Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua because a lot of the motherfuckers out here, they live vicariously through Anthony Joshua and they want to be him. They want to be him. They love him. Oh, Anthony Joshua. Yeah. Do you get his new poster posted in your shower? The new Anthony Joshua water-resistant poster. I mean, I don't know how many times I've said this, that people are looking for Anthony Joshua any way, shape, or form to become undisputed title. And he will be one of the weakest. Anthony Joshua will be one of the weakest heavyweight champions we've ever had in the sport of boxing. One of the weakest. Because if you're going to criticize boxers that never fought in the USA, you can criticize Anthony Joshua too. Because his only time that he ventured over here, he made it such a debacle. And let me just give you 3 bullets. The first was they want to come over here and pretend they signed the contract to fight Deontay Wilder, which was a farce. It was bogus. And Eddie Hearn's name was on the contract, which was bogus anyway. But Eddie Hearns came out his mouth and said he owns Joshua. So what did that terminology give you, the warm and fuzzy? You know what I'm saying? When a man tells you he owns you, yeah, my name was on the contract. I own him. Okay, moving on to bullet number 2. Joshua comes over here and disallowed himself to be surrounded by American U.S. media. He basically had U.S. media that was flown over here or potentially reside in the U.S. Those are the only people that was able to ask him questions. Carefully selected freaking media, which was bullshit. Why? Because you did not allow U.S. media to be able to get closer to who you are as a fighter. So me, I'm like, fuck you too. Period. You come over here and you allow yourself. You want to first of all portray yourself with the white garb. You change from the red garb to the white garb, right? You want to portray yourself as being Muhammad Ali-esque. But yet when you come over here to the US, you didn't even allow US media to interview and ask you questions like that. So how do you expect us to get close and support you? Well, that's where the casuals, that's where the vicarious fans come in at. They would do anything and everything for Anthony Joshua. Lay towels at his feet. Make sure his bathwater is ran. Call his name out when his food is prepared. Anthony Joshua, come here, please. Your food is ready. So he didn't allow us to even get a closer look at who he was. So Joshua, throughout the time, we all know how he got his titles. It was carefully orchestrated, and he was able to go through whoever or whatever the case may be. I still, that's why Tyson Fury is a fucked up individual for allowing Anthony Joshua to even come, being able to have access the way he did to the heavyweight titles. When he vacated and went off his binge, Anthony Joshua rise to fame started, Klitschko and all them other people he fought. Third for Joshua is the fact that he lost the first time he was over here with Andy Ruiz. So for them to be talking about a fight in Saudi Arabia between Joshua and Fury for undisputed is them desperately trying to bring back some boxing history. They're trying desperately to bring back boxing history to the UK. They are trying to have some type of scripture to fall back on for the people to say, look what we've done. Let's take to the streets, people. Let's celebrate. Let's have a cheval of glory. We now have undisputed UK heavyweight champion of the world, and his name is Anthony Joshua. Stand on your feet and cheer as we welcome him. Throw rose petals at his feet. That's exactly what's going on right now. They're desperate for Joshua because fuck that Fury shit. They ain't gonna celebrate Fury like that in the UK. They're not gonna do it, but they will Joshua. And right then, Joshua being a two-time unified champion, if he's able to pick up this WBC belt before a franchise belt is even handed out in the heavyweight division, he will indeed become the undisputed heavyweight champion. You know how much money someone would pay for a name like Joshua to come undisputed? You know how much time and effort Eddie Hearns? Eddie Hearns would benefit tremendously off Joshua becoming the undisputed heavyweight champion. That is the plan. Now he has all the chips in his corner, especially in the heavyweight division. He's able to make some moves. Shout out to Alexander in the building. Shout out to HLD. And like I said before, let me help y'all out. HLD. That link is in the chat, HLD. Just for you and everybody else that's attached to HLD. The link is in the chat. Don't stay in the live chat today. But anyway, back to what I was saying. That's what's trying to go on right now. Deontay Wilder is a huge puzzle piece in all of this, man. Because a lot of people, including Eddie Hearns, don't want to see Deontay Wilder fight Anthony Joshua. A lot of UK fans are behind closed doors as they sit there, just pondering sidebar conversations, hoping and wishing that Deontay Wilder never faced Anthony Joshua, especially in the UK. They don't want that fight. They know the detriment it brings if Deontay Wilder ever steps in there with Anthony Joshua. It doesn't matter if it's after the unified titles or anything. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter. What is clear is this. Show your face, big dog. Show your face, man. I'll let you in. You show your face. I need to know who I'm talking to. I see you backstage, man. Show your face. Just turn on your cam and then off. I need to see who I'm talking to. If not, I really don't know what to tell you, bro. Because, it's not going to be Troll City up here, anything. I want to keep it strictly on boxing and quality content. So I need to know who I'm talking to. If you're not going to do it, I'm going to keep you backstage, all right? But back to what I was saying about Deontay Wilder knocking out Anthony Joshua. That is a fight that Eddie Hearns is not trying to push for. And now that Tyson Fury beyond all cheating odds, has been able to pick up this WBC. Now they would do anything and everything money. I'm talking about anything. Schedule this fight in Saudi. They would do anything to tell the people that this fight is going on in Saudi. They would do, look, they would do anything to have all the belts in the UK. They would do anything. What's up, man? So just like I thought, people, I brought the cat on here, and I brought him on the stream. He said nothing, so it's all good. I'm just, you're not gonna show your face. I'm gonna keep you back stream. Believe it or not, no, I'm not even gonna let you know that. But anyway, back to Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury. The amount of money that they're willing to substitute, to try to make this fight happen. They would go through all the means, period, to make this shit happen. We're just trying to make for official word to try to see who's fighting who. What we want is Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. We want Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury, because we want that get back over here. I care less for the Deontay Wilder haters. The haters that refuse to see any good in what he was able to do for the sport. I just want to see the fight. I want to see Tyson Fury stand across from Deontay Wilder, and let's get this trilogy popping. That's it. That's it. I hope wholeheartedly that the U.S. fans that was born this man in his own country cheer him on next time. I hope they're the ones who basically received what they wanted, found out it wasn't exactly the value that they wanted. You know what I'm saying? And now they will stop being haters and be supporters, as they say back in the day. Stop being haters, but congratulators. Congratulate him for what he was able to accomplish, because it's going to be a long ass time before the U.S. sees another heavyweight champion that was able to do what Deontay Wilder was doing. That's as real as it get, people. The height, the reach, and the power. You can't just come up here with that Tyson Fury freaking moment, the culminating moment with him being able to do what he was able to do, never possessing power. And all of a sudden in his 30s, he's freaking possessing power now. That's just not the way the physical body works when it comes to strength. You don't hear about people, developing themselves into a man in their 30s. And all of a sudden, he's freaking blessed with all this power. But for Anthony Joshua, back to Joshua. Joshua's been two-time unified champion. And for him to pick up the undisputed titles, it will only bring boxing down that much worse, y'all. Believe me when I'm telling you. Joshua pick up these belts. He's not going to be all willing to sit up here and call out Deontay Wilder. Anthony Joshua is going to face enough opponents over there across the pond to continue to reign as long as he possibly can on individuals he could beat. The first name out of his mouth is not going to be the toughest heavyweight over here in the U.S. It's not going to be that way, y'all. You know that. You're smart. It's not going to be that way. You're not going to have individuals like Joshua calling out Deontay Wilder, but he'll be the first one to put a post up to Tyson Fury and say, I help you train for Deontay Wilder. I'll help you. Just hit me up. I'll help you. Now, how in the fuck can Anthony Joshua, who doesn't even have a style nowhere close to Deontay Wilder, help Tyson Fury train for Wilder? So that was just for attention and bullshit. But what I will say about Joshua, he is indeed and absolutely one of the weakest heavyweight champions we have ever had to compete in the sport. People are going to continue to call him the Frank Brunos. People will always have criticism for Joshua. This isn't going away. This isn't going away. No time soon. It isn't going away. Just the mere fact on how you started off gathering your titles. The mere fact on how you started off gathering your titles and fighting in Wembley Stadium against a guy who's been out the sport. It's fucked up. We're waiting for the biggest. Hold on for a second. We're waiting on the biggest, what could potentially would have been the biggest, one of the biggest heavyweight championships ever in the sport. You know what I'm saying? That would have been Anthony Joshua, Deontay Wilder. Yes. So check this out. Let me show you something right quick. Let me show you something. Let me show you something. Let me show you. Let me show you how it's done. Let me see. I'm gonna show you something right quick, man. I'm gonna come back to that. But check this out though. Hey, D Hodges in the building. What's good? What's good, everybody? Michael Lewis, salute my brother. Always appreciate your support. Thank y'all for pulling up. D Hodges, what's good? Appreciate you, man. All y'all that's in the building on this Sunday, what's good? And by the way, you know, I sent HLD the link and brought him back. He popped in backstage and didn't want to show his face. No trolling. I even brought him on. He didn't do anything. So stay out of my live chat, bro. You know what I'm saying? Stay out my live chat, bro. So, hold up for a second.
You hear me?
What's good, man? What's good with you?
What's good, man?
I'm chilling, man. Where you out of, bro? What you represent? What area code?
Hold on, man. I got to turn off your... There we go. What's up, man?
What area code you represent, bro?
312.
All right, so what we talking about, man? You want to talk about Anthony Joshua being the weakest?
Yeah, man. No, we could talk about whatever you want to talk about. I'm here to, you know, we're here to talk some facts if we have anything to share. You know what I mean?
I mean, what we talking is opinions. You know what I'm saying? So,
well, no, you were talking about. Last I heard, I think you were just saying about Anthony Joshua being the weakest heavyweight.
He would be considered one of the weakest, and I believe he is. You know,
I think the whole entire heavyweight division is at its weakest in the past probably 20 years, man. I mean, it's a fact. That's a fact.
We're talking about right now, though.
Right now, he would be considered. He probably would. Well, you got to understand, he did beat Klitschko, even though it was at the end of his reign. But he, as far as us over here in the States, he would need to come and, you know, prove himself. He has to prove himself. He hasn't done anything on this side of the pond.
But that's what I'm talking about. With Anthony Joshua, he is indeed one of the weakest heavyweights of this era. Reason why I'm saying, hear me out, bro. The reason why I'm saying that about Anthony Joshua is the fact that he himself, if he's able to get this fight with Tyson Fury, that is exactly the master plan on which they would have wanted, with him fighting somebody like Tyson Fury, who the UK people really don't look up to or support like they do Anthony Joshua. So them potentially getting this fight, a WBC title, which is embroiled in controversy from Tyson Fury beating Deontay Wilder. They're trying to make this fight in Saudi Arabia. So,
hello,
his license. He relinquished his license, right? In the UK, he relinquished his UK license, and a lot of talk is the fact they're trying to make this undisputed title over in Saudi. This would be the first time in the UK. This would be something fresh. But if Anthony Joshua indeed is the one who wins that WBC belt, he will be considered one of the weakest because he never really stepped up and fought Deontay Wilder when he had the opportunity.
I think that fight could happen right after that, though, if he does win against Tyson. That would be big money, man. There's no way that they're gonna run away from that big money. That would be massive money. But
there would be massive money.
But you cannot, you know, I mean, Put yourself out of the United States, bubble that we're in, right? And we take ourselves over there. You would want it over there. I mean, just like we would want ours over here. You know what I'm saying? So that you can't really, blame them for wanting it on their side of the pond. I mean, yeah, the two guys are from their side of the pond.
Wanting what over there? He's a unified champion.
Right, but wanting the fight over there in Saudi Arabia, that's because both guys are from that side of the pond. That's not hard to understand why. Now, as far as you saying that Anthony Joshua would be considered, he still has to at least show us on this side of like I said, I mean we only see what we know here in the United States, and we base our opinions what we know here. But over there, he's seen like the great. Plus, he's one of those clean cut guys. You know what I mean? He's not rough around the edges. You know what I mean? So
I don't know what you mean. I don't know what you mean by clean cut guy and all that. I'm not here to talk about what people feel about Anthony Joshua. I'm here to talk about how he picked up those belts. Why would it be such an important facet for him to basically stay over there in Saudi Arabia and want it over there when most of his titles have been outside the grid of the U.S. boxing footprint? Why are we happy to him to once again fight over there when we criticize fighters for not even fighting in the U.S. who come over here and lose their O? It's been plenty of fighters that come over to the U.S. for the first time and they're sorry and they lose their O. So why is Anthony Joshua any different? He did the same thing.
This specific fight is two guys from that side. Now, if it's against an American, I can be like, yeah, man, that needs to be over here in Vegas. You know what I mean? But both guys are from that side of the pond.
No, I don't have a problem with them being on that side of the pond. That's not even my point I'm trying to make. My point is Anthony Joshua himself refuses to really come over here and fight the tough opposition over here in the U.S. to try his hand over here in the U.S. footprint. He did it, and he lost to a last-minute replacement who had one loss in Andy Ruiz, in which a lot of people, including myself, thought he beat Joseph Parker.
So that just proves to everyone how mentally weak he is. It's not physically weak, how mentally weak he is. You know what I mean? The guy probably doesn't have the stones. You know what I mean? I mean, look how this fool Tyson acted over here, man. He acted like this was his house, man. He has that in him, right? So he doesn't care. But Anthony Joshua's an introvert. I mean, that's fact. He's not an outgoing type of guy. You know what I mean? And having to come over here and dealing with our media and dealing with the way it is over here, it probably definitely overwhelmed them, man.
Let me ask you this: what would make you assume that he's an introvert?
He's not. You can see the way he talks, man. Just on his personality, he's a quiet type of guy. He's not a kumbaya. Hey, look at me. What's up? Here I am. He's not that type of a guy. He's really a quiet guy. He doesn't speak unless spoken to. That's the type of guy he is.
Let me ask you this though: have you had one conversation with Joshua outside of what you see on the media?
No, what you see on how he is in the gym when he's practicing. How you see how he is with the media itself. He's a quiet guy, man.
I've heard him talk just as much shit as Deontay Wilder. I heard him
talking shit for a fight. Yeah, you ask him a question, you're gonna answer it, but it's not like let me get on TV just to talk. That's not him. I don't think that's him.
Let's talk about getting on TV just to talk, right? Who has done that out of the boxers? A lot of them, right? A lot of them. So
to promote the fights, yeah.
No, I'm just talking about in general. They have the First Amendment to come up here and talk as much shit as they want to. So how is Joshua, in your words, someone who never spoken to him a day in their life? How do you know what he does over there in the UK?
So it would be the same question. How do we know that he's not the way I'm saying? See what I'm saying? Not being an extrovert. You know what I mean? I'm saying he's an introvert. I think he's more on the end, staying to himself, and you can see the personality of Wilder. You don't give a fuck. I'm up in your grill. I'm gonna talk and what's up, right? That's not the type of personality Anthony Joshua is, which has, that's fine. I mean, we got introverts and extroverts all over the world. That's the way we are. Not everybody's gonna be the same.
But what I'm trying to ask you though, what does that have to do with him boxing though? I'm not here to talk about his DM. I'm not here to talk about his damn Tinder account and what his profile looked like. I'm here to talk about him being one of the weakest heavyweight champions, the way he went about collecting these belts.
But
facing Charles Martin, facing antiquated freaking past his time Vladimir, having a referee.
Yeah, I said that myself. I mean, all past his prime.
Joseph Parker. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the way he's been able to acquire his straps, I don't think he's trying his best to be the best. I think he's just coddled. He's micromanaged over there in the
Oh, absolutely.
UK. That's it.
But the division also doesn't have anything like outside of maybe four names, which is Wilder, Fury, himself, maybe Ruiz still. I mean, if he tries to get back to the gym and work again, you know what I mean? Who else is really out there to challenge these guys, man? There's the heavyweight division is weak in itself. Like if he fights anybody else, is it gonna give him cred? I don't think so, because they're it's weak. It's just a weak division. I mean, Klitschko, because he had to, he was reigning for 12 years, you know what I mean? But he was past his prime. Who else is out there? Like, who else can he fight against besides Wilder and Tyson Fury? And maybe, I mean, we already did Ruiz, but who else is out there that would give him credibility? That you're like, damn, man, he scrapped with that dude, and I know that dude is solid, man. He kicked his ass. Oh shit, he's on it. But there is nobody else out there like that.
So how long would you say the heavyweight division has been weak?
Man, I think since like I think since like 95 to 2000, in that area it just started getting diluted.
Okay, over 5 years, right?
Oh, like 20 years maybe, man.
All right. So let me ask you this. Going into the fight, Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury, who are you pulling for?
Pulling for the first fight, I really thought that Wilder was.
Who are you pulling for? Wilder or Fury?
And the first fight, let me speak. In the first fight, I thought Tyson was gonna get knocked out by Wilder. I really did. I'm like, yeah, well, because I never seen Tyson. I really haven't. I don't know. I didn't know who he was. So I thought Wilder was gonna, it was gonna be another easy fight for Wilder and to knock him out. But after seeing what I saw in the first fight, not who I'm pulling for is who I thought it was gonna win. I thought Wilder was gonna win the second fight. I mean, Tyson was gonna win the second fight, based on what I saw in the first fight.
Okay, you felt it was 1-1. You thought, Fury's gonna get knocked out in the first, which he did, and then in the second one, it went the way it went, and Tyson Fury, the tower came in and everything, and the fight was stopped. So he won the rematch, right? Right. So therefore, when Deontay Wilder is reigning, as long as he was, longer than any other heavyweight champion, a recent, what I'm saying, with the WBC belt. Tell me this: why do you, going off what you said about the weakest, what I'm saying, weak heavyweight division? Why do casuals continue to say that Deontay Wilder hasn't fought anybody? If you just confirming a lot, I would agree with you. This is what I know as facts. Let me finish, bro. Let me finish. If you saying that the heavyweight division was weak, why do people the first thing out their mouth and say Deontay Wilder haven't fought anybody? Because you can't say all the tough heavyweights are over across the UK when you Dillian White, who's up there, at the back door for the mandatory for I don't know how long, he gets knocked out by Povetkin. Povetkin, he has a freaking solid resume. He have a Klitschko on there and a Joshua and all this other shit. But check this out. He also repeat drug cheat too. So why do the casuals continue to say if the heavyweight division was weak, why do they continue to say Deontay Wilder didn't fight anybody?
I think for the casuals, they're gonna say what they repeat. But if you want to go into the hardcores, they're just gonna say that who in the top 10 has Wilder fought to defend those titles? You know what I mean?
Don't bring the top 10 into it. Just it's a weak division, period. So
yeah, but you cannot negate it to make your argument, man. Am I saying that the division all in itself is weak? Heavyweights are weak nowadays? Yeah. Compared to the 90s? Heck yeah. Compared to the late 80s? Exactly, they were weak compared to then. But then you still have to fight at least everybody in the top 10, man. You've been reigning for 10 years, right? That's if I'm not mistaken, that's how long you reigned. About 10 years with the WBC. Fight all those top 5 guys. Fight all those top 10 guys, man. Clean the house. Don't give nobody no saying that you didn't fight nobody. I mean, take them all out. I would. That's why they say that he hasn't fought nobody. You know what I mean?
So nobody is like this, right? Deontay Wilder has a house, over here in the States, and he has a house over in the UK. So he has to make sure that he cleans house in a sense that he has to make sure that if some of the fighters that's on the top 5 pound for pound list, he has to make sure, and we know boxing, So we have to make sure that he cleans house across the pond and in neighboring countries. Is that easy? He has a house in two sides, so he just walk over there and clean house over there. You know, like those
Mike
fighters are
Tyson
trying
did
to
though,
fight.
man.
Like
Mike
look,
Tyson did. Bone Crusher Smith, bro. He crushed
we,
that dude.
we can't compare. We can't compare these eras to where the majority of the belts at right now. When Tyson Fury left the sport, then I give Eddie Hearns and his search and rescue team credit for scooping up the IBF title, and when Charles Martin freaking took a dive, and then went out there and searched for a Klitschko to fight in Wembley Stadium. Okay, we all know how that went. The dude was inactive, and then Joseph Parker was
big money
bored as
fight.
fuck.
That's all it was. It was a big money fight. That the Klitschko fight was just a very big money fight, man. You had like 90,000 people in a stadium. You know what I mean? You know, it was just a big money fight. We know the quality of it wasn't going to be the very best, but for them, you know, you got to understand, it's on their side of the pond. They're going to see their guys as we see our guys over here. You know what I mean?
So he took a name of a guy who in Klitschko with his brother are considered some, you know, two of the top boxers. Okay, even though they had their era and they reigned damn near a decade, right? Okay, they did what they had to do. But when I'm talking about him being out of the sport, if you're trying to be the best and establish yourself the best, why would you go get a fighter that's been inactive to fight at Wembley Stadium for a vacant title, though? Why not get an active fighter to step in there with you?
Because at the end of the day, money talks, man. At the end of the day, it's a business, and they're going to grab the biggest, you know, cash cow that there is out there. That's anybody. If I could fight Klitschko and they're going to give me $50 million to beat a guy who's been inactive for whatever years, yeah, I'm going to go fight that dude.
So that validates $50 million. That validates my point. They want to go for the money instead of legacy.
Everybody does almost about.
His legacy can't sit up here and say he's one of the best heavyweights when they went out there and searched for Klitschko, who was sitting in hospice care.
That's exactly the thing. Nowadays, who really is going for legacy? Who is really going for legacy? Everybody. And once you get to the elite status, you got a belt, or you're one of the elite top 5 guys or top 10 guys. You know, they're managing their careers to extend it as long as possible and make them, you know, the most amount of money. At the end of the day, it's a business.
Was going for legacy, though. He did go for legacy. Luis Ortiz, people look at him as being this older fighter until he hurt Deontay Wilder in the 7th round. He was undefeated before he stepped in there with Deontay Wilder. Undefeated. He hurt Deontay. People, oh, yeah, this is what we've been waiting. Oh, shit. Damn, he knocked him out. I mean, he was fighting some. Look,
he was beating Wilder until he knocked him out.
It don't matter who was winning before the knockout. It don't matter. It's how the fight was finished, right?
It just proves that he was a tough fighter. What I'm trying to say with that it proves that Ortiz was a tough fight. You know what I mean? He was not just a scrap. So yeah.
Ortiz was still an active fighter, and people want to say he's 56 years old every time he steps in the ring.
I know he's 40-ish. You know what I mean? That you can say, but it is.
Rigondeaux. Rigondeaux just dropped down to bantamweight. And the dude's like 42 years old. And he just picked up a title. So I think they found it more accommodating because it was Deontay Wilder to make excuses for him stepping in there with Luis Ortiz. You know, look at all the other people he fought. Look at Johan Duhaupas. You know, he'd never been stopped. And Wilder stuck to the course and ended up getting a stoppage in the 11th round. You know what I'm saying? He never been stopped before. And then, you know, Bermane Stiverne, he held that title. Deontay Wilder defeated Bermane Stiverne and held that title, even giving him a rematch. A rematch. Let's talk. You know, we can talk about rematches. That has to do with legacy too. Rematches.
Yeah, you're right. That rematches are a big part of the game. You know, trilogies, especially when it comes to championship belts. You know, it's always like ended with the trilogy. Whoever wins that 3rd fight, you know, really solidifies who's the better fighter, you know, of the two.
So your energy is a little bit different, HLD, about because you was in the chat and you was giving Wilder some negative energy, bro.
No, man, go ahead and read my
things. Go ahead and tell me what you don't like about him, because you got different energy that you had in the chat, bro.
The chat was exactly saying that the $32 million. I don't think that's not happening. I don't think that nobody's gonna get paid sidestep money of $32 million. I don't
No,
care
I'm
who
talking
you
about
are.
previously when you was on here. Previously when you was on here.
Previous to that, I was just saying he needs to get back to work as soon as possible. You know, it's barely been a year. He needs to get back to work. He needs to get back to work.
No, I'm talking about like, okay, the last live that I did when I was going back and forth, and I was like, I sent you the link and everything, and I was like, dang, you know, you start, you know, putting some negative content, and you have your right to your first opinion, your First Amendment, dog. You know, it is what it is. But I just would like people to validate why they're so critical of one particular fighter, but yet, like you said, you never talked to Joshua a day in your life, but your words, you have all these kind words for Joshua. Why would
I don't have no hating words for them either, man. I mean, why would I have, like, for an example, you know what I mean? Why would I be like if I'm gonna talk on both sides of who the person is. I mean, it's just the way it is.
It's opinions, dog. It's not hate. It's opinions, bro. It's opinions.
Right, but yeah, you're right now trying to say that I'm trying to my energy has changed. No, man, it hasn't changed. It is what it is. I think that AJ Joshua is an introvert. I think he needs to earn his respect, at least on this side of the pond, which is the United States. You know what I mean? So he could get his cred on this side too. And that's a fact. That they have a right to have their fight on their side of right now with Tyson and him. You know, yeah, they have the right to have it on their side, but they need to bring it back over here if they want to get worldwide credit. You know what I mean? That's nothing about changing energy. I'm still spitting out the same thing I was saying earlier.
Let me get to some of the comments in there. Mitch said AJ would get credit for beating Fury, but Wilder would be a black cloud over AJ until he fights him. I agree with that. Yeah,
absolutely. If he beats Tyson, he has to fight Wilder. That has to be the next fight.
Major Key said he wasn't that much of an introvert when he was starting smashing Khan's wife, though.
Hey, man. Anybody do anything for some, you know, some booty on the side, man. Has nothing to do with that. Even introverts get some booty.
I never speak about the personal bit. I mean, if that was it, that was it. I can't even speak on that. You know, I'm talking in a Joshua. Let me see. I don't know what that is. I'm talking in a circle, Joshua and shit, but he has a point that the heavyweight division is weak in general. One could say heavyweight been weak since Lennox Lewis. And that's what I'm saying. Like, the reason why I asked him how long has the heavyweight division been weak and the amount of time that he's mentioned, because when it comes to Deontay Wilder, they act like the heavyweight division was full of killers. It wasn't full of killers. He was fighting the accessible competition that he had at his disposal as opponents. He fought
but not all the top 10 guys. I don't know how many top 10 guys, but I don't know if they were. And that's, so you can't assume it.
Top 10 in the US, you're talking about top 10. Doing the percentage at a certain point in time, we will have to go back to the top 10 list at a specific time when Deontay Wilder was reigning. And the only ones that I mentioned is what? Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury. That's it. People want to throw Dillian White in there, but the hardcore fight fans know damn well that he wasn't that guy. So who else? Top 5. Who else was it when you keep on mentioning top 10? Over in the UK?
No, man, just top 10 that in the US. Top 10, because I mean, come on, not all of the top 10 guys are across the pond. Of course, there's got to be the top
10 in the US. Deontay Wilder.
It's so weak, man. I'm gonna spit lie with that, man. Who knows? I don't know who they are, man. That's how bad the division is.
Luis Ortiz at one point in time was freaking undefeated. He fought him twice, knocked him out twice. Why say he did not fight the top 10?
That's one guy, man, in 10 years. So that's how we're going to mention.
Sparring was the champion.
So that's
he had to be top 10. He beat him.
So that's 2.
But what is the amount though? What do I have to continue?
In 10 years? You know what I'm saying? In 10 years.
But why are we putting 10 years? And when we're looking at, let's just say, for instance, we're looking at when we are considering who Deontay Wilder fought and not Anthony Joshua, if we comparing. Because has it been 10 years since Anthony Joshua defeated Charles Martin for the IBF title? No, it hasn't. So why would you put that on Deontay Wilder in 10 years? I'm not putting
that on Deontay Wilder
in the top 10. We got to be clear across the board now, because look at Anthony Joshua's resume, bro. Look at the flags on where he's fought. Look at the flags.
He's
UK,
fought only.
UK,
He's
UK,
fought.
UK.
He's also fought what, 2 guys, which is Klitschko and Ruiz, who are top dogs.
Oh my
Supposedly,
God, they wasn't
that's
top
it.
dogs. Now you
That's
contradict
it.
yourself. Now you
That's
contradict
all.
yourself.
But no, that's all he's fought. So his resume is weak too.
How would you say Klitschko was a top dog coming off a 1.5-year layoff, bro?
Because what at the 12-year ring that he's had, you're just gonna let it right now.
So you're trying to tell me, regardless of his name and how long he's out the sport, he comes back and fight Joshua, being out the sport as long as he was.
How long was he out of the sport? How long was he out of sport? 1.5 years?
A 1.5 years is a long time to be out the sport.
Oh, all right. So then the last time right now that both Tyson Fury and Anthony, Wilder have fought is gonna be almost a year.
I think
in the next month.
I think Tyson Fury fought Klitschko in 2015, if I'm not mistaken.
I think it was. I think you may be right with that.
2015, and he fought Anthony Joshua in 2017. So that's more than 1.5 years he was out of the sport.
Probably close to 2 years.
Yeah, that was more than 1.5 years he was out of the sport, right? So what I'm saying was, we can't say, well, due to COVID-19, it wasn't no COVID-19 there. Goddamn, Klitschko was content and committed to retirement. He wasn't planning on coming back, but they offered him a bag.
Big purse, hell yeah.
So he said, you know what, I'm gonna come back and fight in Wembley Stadium. But he was inactive, dog. Klitschko, he could have stopped Anthony Joshua. That wasn't the order he was given. The order he was given to come back and be a dance partner and move around and get your bag and go on about your business.
I don't know, man, because Klitschko was putting a number on him too, man. It was a battle. That was not an easy fight.
No, he just pretty much exposed how weak of a heavyweight champion Anthony Joshua was. That's all, in my opinion. Because I don't think he was coming back to the division to reign. I think he was more so coming back just because they paid him a hefty check, and he found out, damn, I'm putting hands on Joshua, and it's easy. He's going down, but he's like, he's not here to go on the damn title reign. He's Klitschko. He's out. He's done. Has he fought since Anthony Joshua?
He's probably 40-something himself now. Oh, man.
Yeah, has he fought since Anthony Joshua? So that proves my point that he was planning on retiring.
He was already retired. He was basically retired, yeah.
AJ did, okay, y'all still on his wife. Deontay was disrespect, unappreciated champ, who AJ Fury and the Machine have blocked and are blocking. Charles Miller, what's good, man? Like I say, when Wilder was 30-0, WBC champ, Klitschko wanted to fight. You know, all this public record shit. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of guys, being that boxing is a business, a lot of guys that didn't fight each other at a certain point. You know what I'm saying? Just say, for instance, you know, what you're saying is out there as public record. You need more research. Not to come up here and put public record as if that's defining who Deontay Wilder was when he reigned over 5 years as WBC champion. Klitschko never had the WBC title, logic. That is logic. Logic. Klitschko never picked up the WBC title. So in logic, what does him not fighting Klitschko has to do with anything? To go off your point, what does it have to do with anything? That doesn't diminish his career. Klitschko, it's not like he was undefeated. I'm just telling you, it's not like he was undefeated. You know, it's a tough sport. It's boxing. But to go off just, okay, let me just put a post in here that Deontay Wilder didn't fight Klitschko. Who cares? So what? So what? What's next? Who did he fight for a championship? Mitch, all of a sudden, undisputed means the world like Wilder didn't have the WBC title for years. Mitch, let me say this, Mitch, and ALD, I want you to respond to this too. Do you think Tyson Fury's win over Wilder in the rematch was the biggest of his career?
The biggest
of his career. Yeah. Do you think his fight February 22nd, 2020 was the biggest of his career? His biggest fight of his career?
man, it puts it up between him and when he fought Klitschko early on. It really is.
We talking about active fighters. We talking about
Yeah.
Deontay Wilder, man, coming.
No, it is. Yeah, it has to be. It has to be his last fight has to be his most impressive win.
So I think, why do you see it as his most impressive win? Like, how do you see it? Who he beat?
Who he beat and how he beat him.
Hold on for a second. So, explain that a little bit more. What do you mean? Who he beat and how he beat him? So Deontay Wilder,
Wilder's top dog. Wilder's top dog, champion, and this guy put a boxing clinic.
A clinic? What fight were you watching? Clinic?
Wilder, it was a boxing clinic.
Hilarious. Come on, HLD. That's hilarious. A boxing clinic is what Mayweather did to Canelo, dog. I mean, that was sort of a boxing clinic at that time. When you talking about Green versus, Experience, one of the best. I mean, come on, boxing clinic for real.
It was, man.
So what did you call Tyson Fury when he was laying out in the 12th round and Jack Reese was over him praying? What was that? Is that not a clinic? Because it was 2 knockdowns.
That was a super knockdown. That's what it is what it was, like a super knockdown. But was it an overall boxing clinic?
He didn't clinic. How is he teaching us something that we never seen before? A clinic is basically just dominating Deontay Wilder. We're talking about Deontay Wilder.
This 6'9" giant was dancing in the ring, man. He's bopping around. He's bopping, bro. The guy was bopping. His foot speed was good for a 6'9", 270-pound dude. That's not normal, man. You know what I mean? So yeah, what he was doing was boxing, man. It wasn't a smashing thing. It just the punches accumulated on that, but it was boxing, man. It was boxing as best as you could do without just crushing somebody with one punch and knocking them out. That's all it was.
Within this this mesmerizing clinic that you're talking about, so you excluding the fact of the holding and the headlocking and all that from a 200.
No, we're not gonna come up with all the excuses as to why or what.
No excuses. This is what happened in the ring, bro. It's not excuses. It's what happened in the ring.
But that's what smart fighters do, man. That's what smart fighters do, man.
Okay, if some fighters do that, all right, cool. We'll say, well, some fighters like Tyson Fury on that night was headlocking, leaning on, using his 270 pounds and all that, right? So, and also he was doing what he do. He was doing what he's doing to try to make the fight as dirty as possible. But when the clinic comes in, what punch did he land? And that you're talking about that was considered a clinic because the fight was stopped in 7 rounds.
He was jabbing, bro. The guy was jabbing. I mean,
and what was Deontay Wilder doing good in the fight? Did you think he was the same Deontay Wilder from the first fight to the second?
No.
So how was he putting on a clinic though? If you didn't get the same Deontay Wilder from the first fight to the second fight?
Because you didn't get the same Deontay Wilder because the guy came with a different strategy to put him on his back foot, man. That's as simple as that.
Oh, so it's the back foot Deontay Wilder's boxing off, not the conditioning, not the way he as a conditioned heavyweight fighter.
I don't question his conditioning or how well he trained or whatever it was, but the fight strategy that came in with Tyson Fury was perfect to battle Wilder. That's all.
So you believe Tyson Fury had that punching power all his career?
Well, he has 20-something knockouts out of his 30-something, so he does have some knockout power.
Wilder Fury. We ain't talking about what he has in his career because we have a lot of guys that fall in Mexico and all over the world that has knockouts today. They boxer record and come over and get beat bad.
He has 20-some odd knockouts. Can he knock somebody out? Yes, he can.
No, is it
always going to be?
We're talking about Deontay Wilder, though.
Well, that's all he's got is knockout power.
So
he's a walking sledgehammer dude.
In 42 victories, why wasn't anybody able to stop just the knockout guy of the right hand? Why wasn't it that easy though? If that's all he has,
dude, man, there's no D9. that the man's got the god, that the god of thunder arm with that right hand. There's no denying that at
Do you
all.
think the fight was clean? Do you think it was no controversy involved? Come on,
Be
man.
honest with you, no, I
It
don't.
was
I
any
don't. I
controversy.
don't.
You
I
out your
don't.
mind too. You out your mind, man. I mean, I
I
expect
don't.
first of all.
I
Your opinion, but
I
I disagree.
I wouldn't the analogy with the gloves. If his hands were in the wrist of the gloves, if you have your fingers just like that, bro, you're gonna break your fingers, man. If you ever lay some gloves up, man, you would know that. Ain't no way you're gonna punch somebody with your fingers in the wrist area and not have your fingers broken. Heck, your hands will break just with the gloves in all the way, and with proper wraps, you still break your hand. So no, I don't think that would have happened.
But we don't know. We don't know how the actual setup was. We don't know because we wasn't there. All it is what we do know from those of us who know how gloves supposed to be wrapped is that your hand wraps should not be exposed to the human eye once you have on your boxing gloves. And Tyson Fury in both fights, his hands was exposed. Now we wasn't back there in the dressing room because his team want to cut off the cameras and everything. But yet, it was a team member from Team Wilder back there. Okay.
Yeah, JD, his coach was there.
Of course. People know JD's was back there, right? But once again, y'all just say JD's, but what happens when you have the team disconnect the stream? What happened when you have the team disconnect the stream? And he looking at the camera and he's disconnecting the stream. You don't see any type of problem with that as far as how the fight went.
All I do know that part of boxing, that's just new that they're not right now trying to televise wrappings and stuff like that. I'm not going to speculate one way or the other. Can you say, yeah, does it look
why
fishy?
not?
Yeah, because it wasn't fair that one guy had the camera on all the time and the other one got cut off. All right, so that wasn't fair. If you want to say that.
Why would you exculpate him from any liability from being a fighter who did something that was outside the bounds of integrity of boxing coming to the ring?
Because you could do that to any of them at any point with any type of speculation.
We're not talking about any of them. We're talking about Deontay Wilder on the night of February 22nd.
So what do you think really happened with his gloves? Because I like to know that. I like to know what you feel that is.
I think it was manipulation. I look at it like this, HLD. It's not something I'm just making up. I'm just looking at comparison of the fights that Tyson Fury's had, who he's been as a fighter, his age, looking at the assessment over and over again, how he fought Deontay Wilder the first fight. And then also to collectively compare Sefa Safari, Francisco Pianetta, Tom Schwartz, and Otto Wallin fights. Okay, those are two, and then Deontay Wilder in the middle, and then two after that, WWE, and then come back. Okay, we all know Wilder requested immediate rematch after the first fight, and Fury didn't want it. Coming full circle all the way around, he finally fights Deontay Wilder, and it's embroiled in controversy outside of normal shit that occurs in boxing. That being, first and foremost, the camera shit. The camera shit when a guy from his team is looking up and he's disconnecting the camera. Also, changing up all this shit.
But JD was there when they turned off the cameras. JD was there.
Hold on, check this out though. It don't matter if JD was there. We don't
know.
How
could it not matter? He's his coach, man. That means JD was tripping on it. He was part of the corruption.
Look, the one thing about JD's most people are concerned about is him being a witness to the hand wraps, right? So therefore, we don't know. We don't know
what the hand wraps and when they put on the gloves where the commissioner signs it. He doesn't leave that room until the commissioner signs the gloves once they put them on. Not only the wraps.
We can go through the protocol of what not supposed to happen, but obviously when you have Margarito there, what was commission? The commission did not catch Margarito. The commission didn't catch Panama Lewis, a person who's been accused of removing padding from the glove of several fighters before the night when him and Luis Resto went in there and ended Billy Collins' career.
But because of Margarito,
right or wrong?
Because of Margarito is why we have the new rules that they have now.
We ain't talking about because. We're talking about, you just mentioned the commission being there in Vegas. They supposed to be doing their job on point and everything. So
the same guidelines are not the same. Because of Margarito, now we have the new guidelines how it is. Where you have the commissioner there, where you have somebody from each corner in each other's room. And that you have to witness the signature once they put on the reps and once they put on the gloves. That's because of Margarito.
So you trying to tell me the commission wasn't in the room when Margarito was wrapping his hands?
I don't know if the representatives were
in there, bro.
But I don't know if the representatives were of each corner to witness that.
Yeah,
that's the new rule. That's the new rule because of Margarito.
Man. This just didn't start for Margarito and Cotto. Come on, bro. That's not the case.
No, cheating has been part of the game forever, just like in any sport. There's cheating.
We talking about the commission now, HLD. You need to stay on topic, bro. The commission.
Well, I am. You don't want to accept that because of Margarito, they have the new rules, which was in place now, what we have now, which there's a man from each corner who has to be in each other's locker room witnessing the raps.
We're talking about the commission, bro. Not a man from each team. The commission, bro.
All right. The commissioner and a barison from each other's corners got to be in the room. That's the new rule.
Was the commission there for Margarito when Nassim Richardson and was standing up there watching Margarito's hand get wrapped? Was the commission there? Yes. Yes, he was.
Okay. And what does it have to do with now?
What does it have to do with now?
Yeah.
Because the guy was up there wrapping hands with plaster of Paris. That's what it has to do with
now. We're talking. All right. So what does it have to do with now?
So what it has to do with now is you can have a commission in the room and still they get away with shit.
But my man, you cannot. You're negating that JD's in the room with the commissioner. So either JD's corrupt. So JD. So
I'm saying JD should be in the room watching the gloves or whatever. But your whole point in mentioning JD's was there is when I said disconnecting the stream. Just because you get your hands wrapped, you can still manipulate. It's only tape. It's only tape.
Dude, how are you gonna manipulate it, bro? You're gonna do magic trick in front of JD. They're that good, man. He's right there. Regardless if they pull the camera or not, JD is there.
When did JD's leave the room?
He leaves the room once. He leaves the room once they sign the wraps and the gloves.
So wasn't Tyson Fury already wrapped up?
He's wrapped. They have to wrap the hands, and before they wrap them up, JD's in there. They start the wrapping. He's witnessing it. He sees it. The commissioner signs it. He puts on the gloves. They put their tape around the glove, and they sign that too. And JD has to witness that. That's it. That's the rule. And then he goes, because that's his job, to be there to make sure he's going to protect Wilder from any bullshit. That's his job. Now, if let's say JD, I don't know. Well, if he missed, he missed it. I don't know. They did some tricks or something. This guy is David Blaine, and they wrapped up whatever they did wrong, and JD didn't see it. JD should be fired too, man.
Okay, first of all, David Blaine has never been on a boxing freaking dressing.
No, but I'm just saying, you know what I mean? He's wrapping it in front of his eyes, man.
No. Back to boxing there, HLD. Back to boxing. All I'm saying is, let's just say Tyson Fury gets wrapped up an hour before he's supposed to walk out, or whatever. It ends up being an hour because it's a prolonged shit or whatever. And I don't like doing what ifs or whatever. But we don't know how long JD's has been in that locker room. We just know the camera showed him there sitting briefly. We don't know when he left. We don't know because we're looking around for, like Mauricio Suleiman said, the WBC representative wasn't there. But we can't find any video with the WBC representative being there in the room. So we just can't put everything on JD's being there for the entire time when he has a fight in Deontay Wilder he's about to go out to the ring with.
It's the same amount of time. It's the same. Like I said, once they're all wrapped up and signed, JD leaves that room.
It's not the same amount of time. That's where you bogus, because I know, because I've been there. It's not the same amount of time. Some fighters get wrapped up before other fighters. It's not the same amount of time.
So all we got to do is go back at the tape and see at what time was it that
we already looked. The tape is chopped up. It's footage out there of JD's. The UK people, Tyson Fury team say they was going to send out validation that JD's was in the room. They sent the motherfucking a 2-second clip of JD sitting there, and then it goes off to something else. Then also you have to look at if the video of that particular night, February 22nd, it's still inconclusive with you having the team disconnecting the live stream into Fury's locker room.
Word, I can, like I said, that part I can see how anybody could see like that. Why did that happen to Walden? That didn't happen. I mean,
But why are you not asking the questions though? Why they did
what
that?
question do you want me to answer with
You're
speculation?
talking about the commission. Where was the commission when they disconnected the stream, bro? You talking about JD's?
Wasn't the commissioner there with JD when they were wrapping those wrapping his glove?
The question, man. You can't answer the question, man. You can't answer the question. I know why you can't, because you know it's a tough question, and you're gonna put liability on.
There's no way of answering something that, just like I would not know, you're not gonna know either.
Bro, okay, so check this out. Instead of going around in circles, if you're saying it's not a way to answer something, why are you saying that JD's was there the whole time doing wrapping gloves, but yet you're not even saying the same thing as the commission being there right there in the room while they're standing up there disconnecting the live stream to the locker room? I haven't heard you once.
Because the commissioner's got to be there to see the witness of the signature, my man.
You gotta be there for the signature. We talking about the live stream though. Where was he? You said JD's was in the room when he was getting his gloves, you know, and everything signed off of. Where was the commission when the damn live stream was disconnected?
He was in the room, was he not?
Man, see,
was he not in the room? Just like JD was.
A Q&A is a question for an answer. If you don't have the answer, just say, I don't know. I don't know. It's admittance that you don't know, bro. That's all. Because you can't sit up here and tell me definitively that JD's was in the room and saw everything with the gloves being wrapped. And you're talking about the commission and everybody, but then turn around and the stream is disconnected and you don't mention shit about the commission. It was cheap, period. It was cheap, bro. It was cheap. They cheated.
And how would they cheat? I'd like to know
everything you've seen out here. You watch it. You watch everything. Shit with the gloves, everything that went on in that fight. All the shit that Tyson Fury has been accused of. He's a bona fide cheater before. He was on PEDs and narcotics, recreational drugs, while he was competing in a professional sport. Also, with the Christian Hammer fight, it shows truly that the thumb loop was fucked up. His gloves was manipulated. Why? Because you have to have your thumb attached to the thumb loop, not to poke your fighter or your opponent in the eye. But of course, when you used to cheat and get away with,
that's like that, my man. But that you're bringing up somebody's like, it's like because I have a dirty history of record of whatever robbing or whatever, and I have a record, and because somebody robbed the store and I was in the store, oh, he has a record that he's been known to be stealing. We got to accuse him of stealing when it wasn't me. You know what I mean? We can't play that.
That's a poor analogy, because this happened in the ring, bro. This is not speculation.
It's not a poor analogy. It's the same thing. You just said because he has a dirty record, he always has to be dirty. And
so what makes someone a criminal? Keep on doing the same shit over again, right? A criminal is someone, continue to do the same shit that's against the laws that we're supposed to abide by, right? So we talking about Tyson Fury has been known for pets, been known.
You're still innocent until proven guilty.
In the ring, he's been known to cheat in the ring, and also he had his compeers.
You're still innocent until proven guilty, my man.
He had his compeers, HLD, that said the padding was removed from gloves and sparring. There's been several people who accused Tyson Fury of being a cheat. Second, the controversy surrounding performance and what he was supposed to have and what he intended, or what he was his performance, the results that he had in there February 22nd. The speculation is right there in front of our eyes. Does the hand wrap supposed to be shown during a fight? Does it? Is the hand wraps supposed to be exposed during the fight? No. When you wrap a fighter's hand, the hand wraps are not exposed to protect the opposition from being scratched or anything else that may be a part of the tape.
I know for a fact when I have my hands in my gloves, bro, there's no benefit to that, man. There's just none, man, except me probably wanting to have my fingers broken. There's just no way. If you ever strike somebody with some gloves,
out. Or halfway out in the gloves. You said in the glove,
right? If you have the way you guys, I've seen the pictures you guys are talking about. I've seen them, and I see
who is you guys
on the videos, man. The videos you probably don't see if I go back to your videos.
Who is you guys, bro? Who is you guys?
Anybody YouTube channels,
Y'all
man.
get
It doesn't
mad.
matter.
Y'all
You
get
look
mad at
you
certain
look at a
people.
video and check it out. You can see the I
Wait,
mean,
you guys. Who is you guys?
YouTube channel, guys. I don't have a channel. Whoever has channels that shows videos about
You
the
know,
glove
awful
game.
lot to say you guys. Who? Put some names out there.
I don't got no names, man. I'm just telling you whatever you see on YouTube.
But you tell
Guys
you.
like yourself who own channels. Let's put it that way. Guys like yourself who own channels who discuss this overall.
So how many times you heard me discuss it?
Yourself, like right now, because I just moved to you. I just
Okay,
saw
one
you, and I've started using your. I just subscribed to you, man. I saw you talk to you things, and I subscribed to you.
All right, one time you heard me. You heard me talk
No, I
about.
think I seen you on some of the other live chats too, and I'm like, okay, let me click on this guy and support him. That's all, man.
What other live chats, man?
I think haven't you been? Weren't you on with were you on with Black and Brown Boxing?
And we talked about what? Black and brown boxing.
Dude, I don't know. It was 3. I know that when I was on, it was like 3:00 in the morning, man. We talked a little bit about everything.
Well,
and,
I've been on Black and Brown Boxing once or twice,
and then
I'll talk in detail about this. But anyway,
no. But what I'm trying to say, how did I find you? Is through that.
Okay,
you know, they hollered out your name, and I'm like, yeah, let me support the guy. Why not?
All right, that's what's up. All right, salute. That's what's up. But you know, I don't. When people say you guys,
I can feel how you take it, man. But you guys, I'm not in no derogatory way. YouTube channels. Let's put it that way.
I got it.
Content.
I got it. But when it comes to Deontay Wilder, everybody likes to compare or collectively group us together as if Deontay Wilder is the only fighter that we speak on.
No, man, not at all. Not at all, man. If you love the
that's
sport,
usually what I get from you guys.
You love the sport, man. You love UFC. If you like combat sports like me, man, it'll be UFC. It'll be folk style wrestling. It'll be, jiu-jitsu, taekwondo competition, anything with combat. So that's the main thing that draw me to you. That's why your name, man. So that's why I'm here.
And I appreciate that. But I have to hold you to it, HLD, man. You've been goddamn line dancing around some of these questions, dog.
Nah, man, I'm not lying, man. I just have my
line dancing. Line dancing. I didn't say you was lying. I said line dancing.
I have man. One thing that we all are blessed on is to agree to disagree, and we can have factual conversations, and we can spit on what we know. You know what I mean? I'm just letting you know from my perspective. I'm not here to try to change yours. You know what I'm saying?
Correct. I get it. But I will stand strong on my square that Tyson Fury is a cheater, bona fide cheater. And at the end of the day, there was no investigation handed down, because in order for you to speak on someone's gloves, what worked that was effective with Panama Lewis and Billy Collins, Mr. Collins' dad, he was able to touch the gloves that night and summon the commission to confiscate, and what the wording was back then, impound the gloves, in which they impounded New York State Athletic Commission. Now, the promotion that was in charge of that fight was Top Rank. So they impounded, and they was able to research the gloves right down the spot and come back that the padding was removed. So then they had to investigate, in which both of those guys served prison time. Now, moving up to this date right here, it's no way possible that can happen. There's no way possible, because they don't have the gloves. Deontay Wilder, the water being tainted, they don't have the water to see they can test it. It's a whole lot of variables that goes into investigating. But the WBC has never stepped up and say, okay, we want to investigate this.
No, man, you're not gonna get straight up stuff from the sanctioning bodies of these belts. That's a fact. They're just there to make their money and go. So
what I want to happen is Deontay Wilder, him reigning over 5 years, he truly deserves to be recognized for a trilogy. Now, Tyson Fury up here talking about he never wants to step in the ring. It can be many things, but I think that's all time issue. If he wants to duck Deontay Wilder, it's because he feels that scrutiny is going to be placed upon him when he steps through the ropes again, and he won't be able to get away with what he did the second time.
I think that we will see a trilogy at the end of the year. I really do. If he beats AJ,
you want to put some money on that? Who wins that?
Who wins what? The Tyson Fury AJ?
No, I don't give a damn about that fight. I'm talking about Wilder and Fury or whoever. Wilder
Well,
Fury, man. We're talking about the trilogy.
if there's that's a blowout. They're not gonna deny us that fight. There's way too much money, way too much like controversy, and we're all salivating to want to get this cleared up in the ring. You know what I mean? They're gonna have to make this fight. If it's just way too much money.
Who's the best heavyweight right now, man?
What was that?
Who's the best heavyweight in your eyes?
Oh, right now, I am gonna have to say Tyson right now.
So right. Tyson because he defeated Deontay Wilder, right?
Yes.
Okay. And so it always puzzles me how over here in the US people was dogging him out for being a shit ass boxer, and he has just the right hand, but yet Tyson Fury receives all these accolades for defeating someone who was shitting on when he was reigning as heavyweight champion. How does that appraisal work? It's no sense.
It's kind of like what we just said right now. You have your opinion, and those people have theirs, and you can't go into it wanting to change their opinion.
You can't speak for everybody except yourself.
Exactly.
So how can Tyson Fury receive all this credit? And when Deontay Wilder was vilified here in the US for being a fragmented, fundamental, lackluster boxer, and then when Tyson Fury defeats him, he gets credit for defeating Deontay Wilder and giving him his first loss. It's bullshit.
But it goes both ways. Just like you have people who give him praise, man. You give him praise. You know what I mean? You give him praise.
But me, I'm not the 0.1% in the population of boxing.
But that's my thing, man. We can't change people's opinion, man. We're gonna do that. We're gonna be at war with everybody about everything and anything, because not everybody's gonna say the same cup of coffee that you like. You know what I'm saying?
So I would say this: you need to be a politician because you don't answer questions.
Which one? I can't answer what other people think or what they think. I can only think for myself. You asked me, right? I said Tyson's the best right now.
I know you said Tyson the best, but I asked you how can you place him as being the best? And I put Deontay Wilder's name out there. If people perceive Deontay Wilder as being this undeveloped, fragmented type of fundamental lackluster, boxer who never quite got it together as a bronze medalist, right? And they were sitting up here saying, "Oh, he hasn't fought anybody, he ain't did this." But when Tyson Fury defeats him and has his first loss, right, in a controversial fight, now all of a sudden Tyson Fury is the number one. He's the best there is.
Well, going into it, like I said myself, and going into the first fight, I thought Wilder was gonna whoop on this kid, bro. As simple as that. I thought he was. Now that it's a fight, it's defeated, and and Tyson Fury's got the belt, I see that he's the best fighter right now.
So why do you put him above AJ?
Put who above AJ? Tyson?
Correct.
Because I don't know much about the guy. I've seen all of his fights and see how he is.
He has the unified titles though. Why you put Tyson Fury, who has the WBC,
because now I've seen Tyson at least twice, and the few fights that I've seen, the old fights that you can probably pull up on YouTube, and I've seen Tyson Wilder from, I think I've been following Wilder since he had like maybe 11-0. You know what I mean? And so I know the guy, you know what I mean? And when you've been, you
also know Joshua too. You know Joshua too. You said the Klitschko name. Okay, he has
like
the Klitschko name. Deontay Wilder doesn't have a
YouTube and check it out. Who's this dude, man? Who's this dude? And it's all you got to do is just pull it over on YouTube and check it out. I mean, if you're a fan, you're going to check out everybody.
We ain't talking about the YTBC. We're talking about you as an adult and a hardcore boxing fan who follow the sport. All I want to know is why would you put Tyson Fury above Anthony Joshua? And when it comes to Deontay Wilder, didn't have a Klitschko on his record, but yet
because when I see the boxing style,
Tyson Fury is getting credit for defeating Deontay Wilder, who they said right hand. So
all right, hear me answer. The reason why I think not only because of his fight beating Wilder, but because I see his style of boxing.
Now he's switching up. Man, you're a politician.
No.
You are a politician, bro. Man, you just switch it up. One thing, look, let me tell you something, bro. I'm not even gonna get into it. Look, I listen to your words, and look, it's no offense, really. It's not anything derogatory, but you will skate around certain answers, man, to validate your point when I just asked a direct question for a direct answer.
My first direct question is because he beat Wilder, and so that's it. That's
Okay.
it. Now, why? Now, the second question is why is it that I think he's higher than AJ? Is because he's beaten Wilder, he's beaten Klitschko, and I've seen his boxing style. I've seen AJ. His last fight, he with the last fight they had with the three fights that the last three fights, which was with Ruiz, and now with this last guy, he's not impressive. He is not impressive. It's as simple as that. He's not impressive. That's all.
I just wanted to make sure, when it comes to mention those Klitschko's, one of these guys fought them at a different time when Klitschko was active, and the other one called him damn near past a year and a half. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm mentioning. Like, it's no comparison to the Klitschko's that you want to compare both of them guys to facing a Klitschko. Anthony Joshua beating him when he did, and Tyson Fury defeating him for unified titles. Tyson Fury defeated him at unified titles at HLD and never defended a single motherfucking title. But he comes off a hiatus of drugs and everything else, and he fights tomato cans, absent of Deontay Wilder, turns around and put on a performance that we never seen from him in February. And everybody want to act like it's natural.
This just proves the point how weak the heavyweight division in itself is. That the Klitschko's was the best out there, and to be honest, they're great on their side of the pond because they really didn't fight anybody over here. You know what I mean? That's how weak the division has been. I mean, I would put any of the top heavyweights from 85 to 95 against all of these guys right now. All of the top 5 heavyweights from the what I would consider one of the golden eras of the heavyweight from 85 to 95. That means I would put Lennox Lewis, I would put Mike Tyson, Evander Holyfield, Razor Ruddock, Riddick Bowe. I would put all these dudes against them. I'll put Larry Holmes in his prime against all these guys, and they would clean them out. That's a fact for me.
Now, that's the best thing you said the whole time you've been on here.
I'm just, dude, man. I'm just keeping it my real.
I'm being non-biased, bro. I show you love when you're supposed to get it. But I agree with you on that. But when you were skating and shit, man, it's almost like I was looking at Nancy Kerrigan and shit, man. You was just skating dog.
No, my man. It's that, you know what it is, my man. We do have you have a perspective and you have your strong opinion on what on the negativity of what may or may not have happened on that night of the second fight, and you need that to be cleared up for you to have then a clean, concise, like, yeah, okay, but we don't have it, and that leaves a bad taste in your mouth, as it would with anybody if there's something that you have a doubt about and you want it cleared. I can understand and I can respect that. There's no way of me denying, that you're wrong about it. No. You have your asserted opinion about it, and it's got to be respected. If I have my doubts, I have my doubts too. You know what I mean? If I don't, I don't.
I agree, but it goes to this right here. Michael Lewis said, it's a brave new world where feelings are treated as facts. Feelings are treated as facts, and proof is dismissed as fake news. Shaking my head, he has dug in on his narrative. Now, narratives are opinion-based some of the time. It can be subjective or objective, whatever the case may be. But only thing I was trying to make to you, HLD, is the fact that if Deontay Wilder was such a sham, how can I get credit? How can I get credit for defeating a fighter who they're saying is a sham in the heavyweight division? And you said yourself that the heavyweight division has been for 10 years.
They and me are two separate things, man. They and me are two separate things.
Weak as shit. You said the heavyweight division has been weak. So therefore, how can Tyson Fury get all this credit for feeding one of the weakest heavyweight fighters that the U.S. was saying that was weak and fragmented?
I give him credit. I give him the credit.
Right, cool. I get it. All right, I respect that. You give him credit. But when it comes to
the perspective of why everybody else does, like I said, you're showing it that, yeah, you got, let's call it the haters or whatnot that want to now trailer hitch on Deontay Wilder's success now that their boy beat him. I get that. I get how you may see that. But me, as a hardcore fan, I just see that what happened in the ring, and that's it.
All right.
You know what I
Cool.
mean?
I'm not gonna beat the horse. The horse been out there on his side for a long time. You know, kicking. You know, I keep on walking up and beating that shit for no reason. What? WTF is he talking about? Tyson Fury was admitted cheater before the Wilder fights. Yeah, I mean that we know. We know. He means you guys as you people, right?
Yo, man, we people, man, that you people, you cannot take it as a classification of, and I can see quickly how you're gonna try to say by race or some bullshit like that, man. No, I don't play that game, man.
I mean that's the live chat. That wasn't me.
No,
right?
I get it.
That's
I
why
get it. No,
I
no,
asked
no,
you,
no.
what
But,
do you mean
but
by
let me voice it out for that live chat person. If he's still hearing, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's all. I'm just, yeah. I don't, no, man. I don't play that bullshit game. Never have, never will.
He said Wilder wasn't shit, but Fury is shit for beating him. And you know, And you know, that's what I'm saying. Real talk. That's my only thing when it comes to this, right? You know, I hear my people over here in the US, right? They criticize and they vilify the man, getting personal. You know, when the twerking video came out, I don't get into these man's personal shit. But I'm saying in general, like when it comes to the sport of boxing, though, why are people so enamored to speak so kindly of Joshua, and they never met him, but they never met Deontay either, and they speak so negative? But
no,
me,
man,
I have met him.
They don't know the man, but this I can say about Wilder that and I don't know for a fact, but what I can see, he's a good man on a personal level. He's a good man. He's a good family man. And besides, and you don't
words that come out their mouth.
And you don't hear no like real controversial shit. I mean, what, that he's dancing? You know what I mean? Is it funny? Hey, man. But is it like, damn? No, man. He ain't out there, in the bars all drunk and shit, acting a fool or beating up on old people like you hear some of these other fighters be doing when they go out and shit. You don't hear that about the man, So on a personal level, no, man. Hey, anybody who's gonna talk shit about the man needs to look in the mirror first. It's as simple as that, So it's what my opinions are based on is just on the skills in the ring, what you do in the ring. You know what I mean? Belts. I always repeat the same thing, man. Belts and respect in boxing is earned in the ring, nowhere else.
What I mean, I say it's earned in the ring, but I have to partially disagree because when it comes down to some of the best, like people respect Muhammad Ali for what he did out the ring as well as he did in the ring. So
yeah, but in the boxing sense, man, he's transcending, man. You really, Muhammad Ali, man, he's a different cat. He's transcended not only in boxing but in history of the man he is. We can't even put these cats in the same same conversation with Ali. Not any of them can even, no, man, not any of them can step up to the shoes of Muhammad Ali and try to fill him, because he did something beyond what many and very few would ever understand, because honor, integrity, and respect is very watered down nowadays. You know what I mean? And what he did in the 70s, not to want to participate in our bullshit war, that took balls, that took heroism, that took heart, and that took, that was also made on the glory of God. So, we can't compare anybody to him at all. That's how I'm gonna say about Muhammad Ali, man. We cannot compare him to anybody else, because up to this day, let me use the words of Deontay Wilder. Till this day, we have not had another person in the sports figure do the same that he's done.
Yeah, for sure, man. And I appreciate the words. It's just I just think over here, man, they didn't really shine that light on him enough. But you say you cover the UFC. I mean, you cover mixed martial arts, right?
Yeah, exactly. I do. I like the UFC, and that's, you know what I mean.
So, what you think about the situation that's resurfacing, and what Dana White is trying to put together in the Conor McGregor versus Khabib Nurmagomedov? You mentioned this GSP shit, and I was telling you, I was like, that shit is old, bro. That's not happening. I mean,
yeah, it seems like it's not, man. You know what I mean?
It way. It's no way, bro. Look, he came at 185, man. It's no way. Look, Khabib, if he's never fought at welterweight, how is he look with an undefeated record that's going to resonate? We're not talking about Conor McGregor crossing over the boxing and having an 0-0 record with a boxing license and fighting Floyd. No, this is Khabib putting his undefeated 29-0 record on the line against GSP. And though GSP would be the one that's inactive a little bit, he had a size difference. For Khabib to compete at 155, and then you said that he walks around at 165 or whatever. It doesn't.
He walks. I think Khabib walks around 165, 170, and I think
65, dog.
How's that?
He doesn't compete at 165.
No. Well, I'm saying walking around weight. So if you saw in his last match how hard it was, I mean, he even admitted it was very hard for him to cut weight. Because let's call it the real, man. This cutting weight thing is I don't even get it, man. Either if you have to cut weight to make a weight, that's a form of cheating, man.
It's organization. If they don't have weight classes, then what are we fighting for? It's no reason for belts.
They need to have more weight classes.
There's no weight cut, then everybody is free for all.
No, they just need to have more weight classes so that we don't have all this extreme.
Well, why? If you don't like weight cutting, why have more weight classes if you don't like weight cutting?
Because like that, if I'm walking around at 165, I don't got to cut down to 155 to compete.
But he can compete at 170.
Who's that, Khabib?
Anybody. You're comparing him cutting down to 155. He's cutting to that weight because that's his most effective.
GSP, he said it himself clearly. You can look it up. Clearly, he would not be able to fight Khabib at 155. He couldn't. He's too big to cut down to the weight. He says he could do a catch weight at 165. You know what I mean? That's the best he says he can come down to is 165. I think that's just the fight I want to see, man. I would like, and plus, I mean, if you also seen Khabib, you know, there was a time where they showed them like backstage or whatnot, and GSP comes in congratulating the man, and Khabib was saying that's his dream, that's his father's dream fight for him to, to have fought GSP. You know what I mean? Right. So for that reason, man, and a fan sense, that's who I want to see fight. I don't think that Conor McGregor, and he already beat him, and who else? I mean, like, I don't know how they're gonna hype up the fight for us to want to see that. I think the man is the best
fight because star power is everything. Some people have it, some people don't. And here's a perfect example of star power when it comes to Conor being the first to do something. Conor was the first to do it. He was the first to become. With 2 losses heading into the UFC, Conor McGregor was the first to unify in two separate divisions at the same time. So with that said, it set him up to trash talk and everything and venture over and get one of the biggest paydays of his life.
He's a showman, man. Got to give him credit.
So now he's back on the rise, and Dana White is assisting with trying to make this big fight. Why? Because it was one of the biggest fights ended in controversy after he was subbed out. It was the biggest melee.
Yeah, I remember that, but it wasn't a big controversy inside the octagon. You know what I mean?
Correct. But what drives that? People want to say, okay, Conor McGregor, he came back and defeated the freaking old tractor in Cowboy Cerrone. You know what I'm saying?
Word, man.
Cowboy Cerrone got like 70 fights to his name. I'm like, man, it's just even Cowboy say he didn't want to be there. But now Dana's trying to say, okay, if he goes in here and defeats Dustin Poirier, Dustin Poirier, I like the guy. He's just not exciting to me, man. The only a fight I saw him as being exciting was in there with Justin Gaethje. I'm not gonna lie. Like,
okay,
style for style, mano and mano, fire for fire. I liked it. But Conor McGregor going to him fighting Dustin Poirier since 2014, and that's supposed to boost up the fight between.
I'm not excited about it, bro. I'm not excited for next week, bro.
Yeah, I don't even think I'm paying for the PPV. I say that, but I'm like, why?
I'm not excited about it, bro. I'll be honest with you. I'm not. It just doesn't. Now, Justin Gaethje, man, he look, man. The thing is, we all got to understand. To me, at least, Khabib is just on a different level. Simple as that.
Yeah.
He's just on a different level, man. And that's why I would like to see that different level against another guy who was on a different level, which was GSP. That's why I would love to see that as a dream fight, because it would be like real the best of the best. You know what I mean? That we at least could remember. We don't have to dream about this fight. Man, what about this era against that era? Nah, man, we could see this like now. And that's a rarity, you know what I mean? So I would have loved to seen that. So for Khabib to come back against any of these guys, it's just not exciting. It looks like it's just a money grab at this point. You know what I mean? It's not like that he's gonna get any type of honor. You know what I mean? And more integrity to his name because he beat him. But if he beats GSP, yo man, undeniably the greatest of all time. Until we see what John Jones does at the end of his career.
How will he be the greatest of all time, bro? How?
30-0? And the way he's mauled everybody. And
so you take 30-0. So you take 30-0, man. Come on, bro.
No. Let me finish. And the way he's mauled at
30-0 for covering the sport, but his resume doesn't stack up to John Jones. Come on.
No, that's why I said until John Jones finishes his career, because you can't until somebody's stamped. You know what I mean? You're done. Hey, let me put it down. All right, let me see what we got.
Man, let's pick out Khabib's star opponents. Who is it? Okay, let's start from the reason. Justin Gaethje on back. Justin Gaethje, Dustin Poirier, Conor McGregor. All right, let's pick up Michael Johnson. Throw him in there. Let's pick up Essen Barbosa. You know what I'm saying? Let's throw in there the guy that took the last minute, the real estate agent, Alan Quinta. You know, I'm just saying, I got mad respect for Alan Quinta, but he's a real estate agent. So you're trying to stack up those star names against John Jones, who's been in there with the likes of Lyoto Machida, Eric.
No, why did I mention John Jones right after that, bro? Because I know the man is stacked.
DC twice.
The man is stacked. Yes, absolutely.
Alexander Gustafsson.
Yep.
Man, he fight. Look,
that was a good fight though, man.
It's just a good fight, dog. Period. But it don't make him the GOAT.
I think it's as when someone retires to when someone is still active, it's like you can't put somebody in the Hall of Fame until they retire, right? So I think with the same thing with the GOAT status, man. When they retire, now we can talk about what he is at that moment. But that's why I say John Jones, man, if he comes in and the heavyweight and takes over the heavyweight too, oh shit, ain't no way anybody can then say anything, absolutely anything about John Jones. But even though we got Israel Adesanya, bro, that guy's a bad dude, man.
So once again, Israel Adesanya, does his resume stack up to John Jones? It does not. You can't take Vettori. You can't take Tavares. You cannot take Kevin Gastelum, dog. You can't sit up here and just take Robert Whittaker and say, oh, he beat the champ.
No, well, that's why I would love to see Israel against Jones.
Huh?
That's what we all would love to see that, right? We would. Israel against Jones.
Oh, absolutely. I think it would be one of the biggest fighting combat sports.
And then we could put this little who is top dog, but no man. But John Jones' resume speaks for itself, and what he's done in the sport for over 10 years now as a champion. Ain't no way we can deny that at all. That's why I mentioned him second, bro. Right after, as soon as I said Khabib, top dog. We got to see what John Jones finishes in the heavyweight now, man. He cleans house. Done. Ain't no way anybody can have any.
What cleaning is it? I mean, Stipe is the man right now, one of the best heavyweights to ever do it. People have to give Stipe his props. They have to give Stipe his props, man.
That's what I'm saying. If he goes and cleans house at the heavyweight and beats Stipe,
I think Stipe is due to face Ngannou a second time in the rematch.
Are they gonna do that?
I believe they are, because Ngannou deserves that. He deserves a rematch.
I would love to see John Jones get Ngannou too, man. You know what I mean?
Correct. A lot of people would like that. So if Ngannou is able to defeat Stipe, and he's improved his IQ, because they were saying Ngannou has the most powerful punch, register in his hand. They were saying he has a harder punch than Tyson, but yet when he against Stipe had the better IQ.
Yeah, like I said, man, it's not only one thing that you could bring into either the boxing ring or the octagon. You got to be, as the saying goes, you got to be like water. You got to be able to flow in every part of the game. IQ, your stamina, your power, your technique, your reaction of something, how you take it. There's so many things that are involved. It's not a one thing only that you got to bring in the in the octagon. It's a lot of things, So, uh, but back to John Jones, bro. That to see him fight both those guys and just bye to both of them, dude.
I
His
would definitely like to see him in there with Izzy. All right, but Izzy, yeah, he beat Robert Whitaker, but that fight with Yoel Romero is the top 3 worst fights I ever seen in the UFC.
I'm pissed off at Romero for not bringing the fight, though, man.
What?
Romero messed that up by not bringing the fight, man. That he should have just the way he fought Acosta, you know what I mean? He should have came to that and give us a show.
That's how he fights, though.
What was that?
Yoel Romero always fights. He's a counter striker, man.
Yeah, but he didn't fight. He didn't approach this fight the way he approached that Costa guy. You know what I mean?
So
he didn't.
I mean,
come on,
I can understand where you're going with that, but Israel Adesanya was talking about he's gonna be the first one. He sound like Devin Haney. I'm gonna be the first one. I'm gonna be the first one to stop Yoel Romero than anybody's ever did, and it was the worst, one of the worst fights I've ever seen.
Dude, it was one of the biggest letdowns, bro. It was definitely one of the biggest letdowns of fights of all time. That was a waste. That was a waste of money, man.
I mean, I like Adesanya. I like what he's been able to do. Back then, I would have thought, I even said that he was going to take a loss before he gets a title shot, but he didn't. And Robert Whitaker had the wrong game plan, in my opinion.
Well, when the other guy comes in and brings you something a little bit more different than you're even used to, that's why they say, man, styles make fights, because you really don't know how to react to this other style until you are in the ring or in the octagon. You know what I mean? You're planning it to be one way, and it surprises you to be another way, and that definitely is gonna change it. Just like the saying goes, man, you may talk a lot of plan until you get punched in the mouth, man. You know what I mean? Exactly. A la Mike Tyson. So it changes things no matter what.
What do you think about do you know Joaquin Buckley that was knocked out yesterday? Joaquin Buckley, the one that landed that reverse high kick on what's his name?
Man, I watched the Condit fight, and then I watched what was the other fight? Because I was watching my football stuff too, so I didn't catch it all.
Well, what about Michael Chandler, man, and Dan Hooker? You know,
I think. Well, Michael Chandler's still got to prove himself a little bit more to us. He's the new guy on the block. But his resume is pretty good. You know what I mean? So we'll see what he brings. You know what I mean? I think he's gonna win this fight. I think it'll be kind of it should be like let us see what you got type of fight. You know what I mean? Just his introduction to the game for us.
Well, he's a former champion over there, Bellator, man. And
Dan Bellator, right? That's what I'm saying. So we'll see what he is. I haven't seen him fight, per se. All I know is what he's done in Bellator, but in the UFC, we'll see. We'll see who he is. I think it's gonna be it'll be interesting to watch just to see who he is. You know what I mean? Who he is or who he is not. You know what I mean? We'll find out.
So who's one of your favorite female fighters, man?
Oh man, I can't say her name. Whaley or
Wally?
Yeah, man. That chick is bad, bro. That fight that she had with that yeah, man. That has to be like fight of the year, man. That was brutal, man. That was an awesome fight.
That was a tight fight. It'd be good if they used defense, but I mean, it was
there was no defense, man. There was no defense.
I mean, Joanna looked like she had a helmet on.
Dude, wasn't that alien-like stuff, bro?
Yeah, that was unbelievable, that fight. I mean, I'm curious to know how long Wiley keeps her belt, because she has a style like Jessica Andrade. She's a forward presser fighter. You know what I'm saying? She's the first Chinese fighter, I believe, to have a world champion over there at the UFC.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's good stuff, man. I like Thug Rose Namajunas. She should be getting her title shot again.
Who's that again?
Thug Rose Namajunas.
Why am I blind? I'm drawing a blank right now. I don't know who she is, man.
Namajunas is the one who stopped Joanna Jędrzejczyk winning streak. She was close to Ronda Rousey's 6 defenses, and Rose Namajunas shut her down. She stopped in 1 round, and then they had a rematch, and she won the decision.
I'll be blind. I'm drawing a blank with her, man. So I'm not gonna. I don't know. You know. I'm not gonna. I can't chirp on something I don't know, man.
It's all good, man. It's all good.
But definitely you got to give it props to the UFC, and with the women's fighting, it's come a long way. It's a lot better fights to see than it is in boxing. You know what I mean? They've done a great job bringing the women up to give us some good, exciting fights, man. You know,
I agree with that. I agree with the women. Mixed martial arts are basically overriding the women in boxing when it comes to entertainment value. Of course, easily.
Yeah, they have. You know, that's why Clarissa's trying to get over on the UFC, I think, isn't she?
I mean, she's not the first to do it, though. You had Amanda Serrano, you had Heather Hardy, you had plenty of women that cross over from boxing to MMA. That's not the first time it's happened.
But were they as top notch as Clarissa is? You know what I mean?
Amanda Serrano's a 7-division champion.
Yeah.
I mean, how top notch should you be? Carissa Shields is a 3-division champion, 2 unified, and the quickest to do it in 10 professional fights.
He's badass, man. The sad thing is, I guess there's not a lot of money for them, I guess, and there's not a lot of competition either, is it, in boxing?
Correct, but you know, what does I do? It's going to take more than a couple of months training with Winklejohn MMA for Carissa to come over here, having practice her Muay Thai.
Man, she
hasn't put in back time, all that shit.
If they bring her in to try to put her in the spotlight immediately, she's gonna get murked. You know what I mean? They gotta
put her with a trash can. Period.
Put her. You gotta put her with someone just ease her in and let her learn some wrestling, and let her learn some striking with kicks properly and proper takedown defense. I mean, UFC is just a different animal, man, than boxing. You know what I mean? Just like it is for a UFC fighter to try to go into boxing and think that he's gonna, we all saw what McGregor did. So, it's I hope they don't bring her in and use her as a spectacle, man, and have her get murked immediately, man, because I don't think it would be fair. I think she needs to have a few fights under her before try to get her into some. What does she weigh though? Is she like 120, 125?
Okay, solid question. Okay, Carissa is competed, up there at the 168-pound division. Yeah, she used to compete as heavyweight in the AMs. You know what I'm saying? She competed. So
what is she at now?
You're looking at her division 68, 60, and 54. She's trying to unify right now. And when it comes down to Carissa, right, she's switching over to MMA. They don't have comparable classes. That's when you're talking about boxing and MMA. The highest weight class is lightweight, 155 pounds. So that's why she didn't go to the UFC, because their highest weight class is 145.
Yeah, that's Amanda Nunes territory.
I mean, she's nowhere close to coming in here and defeating Amanda, nor is she's going to be able to make that weight. Because just think about it, in boxing, that's below the welterweight division. She would have to come in here and she would have to come in here and fight at 145, which is a crazy amount of weight to lose to fight a fighter like Amanda Nunes.
No, that won't work either. Amanda Nunes is going to have to step up. She's going to have to step up and go up to to meet her at that weight if she wants to get that competition.
How can she meet her at a weight that's not even established though? She can't meet her at a higher weight that's not even a weight class.
So what are they gonna make her do? They're gonna make her cut weight. I mean, she's trying to get into the UFC though. So what are they gonna do?
No, she signed with PFL, man. Professional Fighting League. She signed with PFL, tournament based.
Oh, she did. They do have a 155 over there. Okay.
So the one that's the champion over here, right? Over at PFL is Kayla Harrison. You know, the gold medal, the 2 times.
Yeah, it's a gold medal jiu-jitsu girl.
Judoko.
Is that what it was? Oh, judo. Oh, that girl's a bad girl, man. But she's a giant, man.
Exactly. So she was at 155. How is Carissa going to come over there and compete at 155? And then come to find out, her and Harrison are good friends. So I heard that Harrison is stepping down to 145. And I guess she's making room for Carissa to compete. So Clarissa says she's going to compete in boxing and mixed martial arts in 2021. I don't see how that's possible.
Hey, man, I don't see it either. But if she does it, bro, mad props, man. Mad props. You know what I mean? Is she biting more than she can chew? Yeah. But hey, man, it's only impossible if you don't try. You know what I'm saying? So.
Well, I mean, yeah, we can use that, bro. It's not.
But is it realistic? Hey, man,
we're talking about mixed martial arts, man. Come on, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. Hey, man, it's just sad that she probably is forced to have to do that because there's, like I said, there's not enough money in the game, man, for them to upkeep themselves, man. And boxing, there's just not enough money for them to have a solid lifestyle that is earned. Dude, it's a hard life, bro. Combat sports is anybody who has ever been in anything of combat sports and in training would know how hard it is, man. And they deserve every penny that they can get. And if there's not enough money for training and everybody else, we all want to have a good life. You know what I mean? So she's probably forced to have to do that PFL because this is a tournament style in PFL. At the end of the race,
she's not going to compete in the tournament this year, though. She's going to face, in her words, 2 opponents. They're gonna wean her on. Okay. I mean, they're going to just milk her on the two opponents, and then in 2022. But even in 2022, it's not enough time. I don't care if she's trained with John Jones, Holly Holmes.
No, it's not, man.
Karate Hottie. It's not enough time for her to get used to the mat. It's not enough time for her to get used to her kicks and all that shit.
Well, yeah, hey, I'm on board with you with that. I have, but hey, she wants to try, man. I'll kudos for her, man.
Yeah,
just hope she knows that if she gets murked badly and MMA, it's gonna tarnish her image overall, even in boxing. You know what I mean?
I don't think so, bro. I don't think so. You know why I don't think so? Because Serrano went over there and lost. It didn't tarnish her. You know what I'm saying? People still treat her like she's the 7th division champion. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't care. If Carissa goes in there, what she's accomplished in boxing, and gets subbed out in the first round, it's not going to matter because she was outside the scope in which she was dominating. She was
kind of like, gotcha. Kind of like Conor McGregor. Him losing.
Correct. Ain't nobody talking about Floyd unless they talk about the money. They ain't talking about the money.
Right. I got you. That makes sense.
So she might be able to survive, but my girl Laura Sanchez, man, I'm telling you, she would Duke Rufus. I don't see Carissa beating her anytime soon, man. The girl's like over 6 feet tall. How are you gonna handle her at 155 with that height?
That's gonna be crazy to see, man.
All right, bro. I'm in the whole, you know what I'm saying? Appreciate you pulling up and everything, man. You're always welcome to the channel. Appreciate you.
Man. Hey, man, I loved it, man. It was good, man. They're having good, I don't want to say heated, but, hey, the good back and forth, it's always good, man. Hey, God bless your channel. God bless what you're doing, man. I'm here. I'll be stepping in and out, man. Do appreciate your time, my friend, too. All right. You guys have a blessed day.
Yeah,
Go out
man.
and move
Appreciate
on,
you for
man.
pulling up. Appreciate everything. Thank you, man.
All right, my man. Ciao.
All right.
Peace out.
Peace, man. Mitch said John Bones Jones is already the quote. Yeah, for sure, man. Thug Rose is the bald chick. Andrade slammed it on the neck. I think she's great. Man, she slammed her only because Thug Rose would not let go of the body lock. She should have been a bit more attentive to what could potentially happen. You know what I'm saying? She probably had a plan to hang on, but somebody with the strength of Jessica Andrade, a little Mike Tyson, pocket Mike Tyson, she slammed her on the head, like you said. Oh my God, knocked her out cold, man. It takes me back to Matt Hughes and Carlos Newton. Look at that fight. You know, Matt Hughes picked him up while he was in a triangle choke. Carlos Newton, man, was squeezing, held on to the cage. They say, let go of the cage. And then Matt Hughes just, with the last breath he had, he slammed him on his back. And both fighters was out. But Matt Hughes was like, he came to, and everybody like, hey, the winner is Matt Hughes. Carlos was out, and Matt Hughes was delirious and out. But he the first one woke up. They said, oh, you get up. You know. Yeah, man. So, man, that shit was wild, man. Shout out to Dunny Hall. Salute to you. King say, the GWOAT gotta open those tight ass hips. Yeah, man. Listen, bruh, bitch, man. That's you ain't never lied. Listen. Anybody who out there, right? I'm telling you. And this has nothing to do with Carissa Shields, right? But when you see, okay, just say for instance the busted challenge, right? When a woman squat down and how she rotate her hips, it tells a lot about who they are as a dancer and everything. And look, if you was involved in a relationship, you know, seriously, because just because you got a fat ass don't mean you can do anything when it comes to, you know, rotating your hips, or when it comes to martial arts. Opening your hips is like basically, you know, when you're learning your kicks and you're able to throw your kicks more naturally and fluent rather than somebody almost like Justin Gaethje. Justin Gaethje throws his kicks low and it is point A to B at the same direction. He really don't throw spinning kicks, heel kicks, high kicks, and all that shit. So Carissa definitely have to open up her hips more and get loose, man. You can kind of tell she has stiff hips in that challenge they did. I was like, you can tell a lot about a woman the way she danced, for real. I ain't gonna lie. But listen, I appreciate HLD for stopping through. You have a lot of people that pop in as trolls, but he wasn't a troll. Good dialogue on boxing. He had his opinions, I had mine. I appreciate everybody for pulling up. You know what it is. But I'm gonna end this, man. I want you all to give me your take. I'm speaking to my brothers, man. This shit irks me. Look, I've dated every damn race you can imagine. Every country I've been in, I at least dated someone temporary. I ain't gonna lie. I did. There's no freaking stick to the sisters here, stick to the sisters there. Man, I dated all over, period. But it's one particular type of female, especially when it comes to a white female, that I would never date. All right? A particular one. I ain't saying I ain't never date them. I said a specific one. I want you to see this right here. Tell me what you think. What would deter you from dating her?